Hello, I'm Corey Hildebrandt from Coriander Living Collective, and I thought I would try doing a video today to run through these 14 strategies that we can all use to approach hard conversations. I'm not going to edit it, so hopefully I can just be okay with whatever the first rule is. So when we have a hard conversation that we want to have with someone, preparation number one is key. And so we want to sit down and be really intentional about what it is that we want to talk about, what the outcome is that we're hoping for, and be really clear on what our purpose is. And so I'm going to use as an example, say that you want to communicate to a spouse or a partner that you would like them to spend less time with their friends. But ultimately, really, what's underneath that, the need that you have, is that you want more connection time with them. And maybe you've also felt that a lot of the household tasks land on you because you're home more often. And so just being really clear, like, so if I approach someone and say, hey, you're not home enough, blah, 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 I'm probably not going to get a good outcome, or it's not going to be an effective conversation. And so we really want to be intentional and prepare. So then I think it's great to ask permission. And so literally go to this person and say, hey, I'm wondering about setting up a time that we can have a conversation. There's been something on my mind. They may say to you, well, what is it? So you could be prepared. They might say, well, let's talk about it right now. If you're open to doing that, you would just want to be prepared going into even asking the permission or scheduling it. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you might say, okay, no, actually, I don't want to talk about it right now. But to be fair, give them some kind of indication. And it could just be, I just want to talk about something I don't feel so satisfied with related to how often I'm home alone or something, focusing on yourself, not them and their behavior. And then really, I would say, like, you could rehearse this. So you could like run through how you want this conversation to go. Totally bring notes with you, have talking points written out. It can help you keep on track and also give some structure to the conversation and make sure that you're covering what you want. Really important going into tough conversations that you check in with your own body and what's happening. And so, wanting to do things to calm, to settle, whether that's some deep breathing, going on a walk before having a conversation like this, and in the conversation too, right? We don't want our emotions to get the best of us and to run wild and we start saying things that we don't mean and that sort of thing. So checking with your body, remaining calm. When you start a conversation like this, you can absolutely set boundaries around it. So you can say something like, you can just name, this is hard for me. I'm nervous about having this conversation. I have certain things I want to share. Could you just please listen and let me get through what I have written out before um, responding in any kind of way? You could also say, you know what, if this conversation starts going sideways and they're swearing and yelling, then let's take a break. So you can set up boundaries around how this conversation is going to go. I love this sandwich technique. And so what it basically is opening with some kind of connecting statement, putting the hard stuff in the middle, and then closing with a connecting statement. So how that might look would be something in this example like, I really love sharing a life with you. I'm so grateful for our home that we have together. Then you would say the hard stuff. And then you could close with something, another connecting statement, like maybe, I'm really happy that we're able to have conversations like this. This relationship's really important to me. Thank you for listening, stuff like that. And so then I encourage you with the hard stuff in the middle, you want to focus on yourself. So you statements. So I don't want to say, you're never home, like you're always with your friends, because I'm probably not going to get a good outcome or a good response. And ultimately what we want, right? We want to be heard and we want some kind of positive outcome. We want to have effective communication. And so you want to focus on yourself. And so rather than saying you're not home, you might say, I'm home alone more than I would like to be. I feel lonely like all the nights I'm home alone. It might be something like I feel overwhelmed by all the household tasks because I'm, home more often. It feels like I end up doing a lot of this stuff. Something like that, right? So just focusing on like an old school kind of style of I statement was like, I feel this when you blah, blah, blah. I don't encourage that type of communication. I like to just cut out the you altogether and just it keeps the language more neutral and people are a lot of times less defensive and more receptive. If the other person starts challenging you in some way or wanting to cut in and argue, you can always just go back to yourself and how you feel or what you think. And so just repeating the same kind of things over and over. If you keep key things calmly, like, like I feel overwhelmed. They're like, why do this and I do that? And just, I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. Like I feel lonely. Um, can be a good technique. We can always make a request. And so be prepared if there's something you want to request to make that. And so the request might be, I'm asking that 2 times a week. I think it'd be really wonderful if we could be home, just the two of us, on Tuesday and Thursday nights for time for us to connect. You can ask that, right? And then I always say, like in communication, like we mess up, we make mistakes. And so we always have the option of trying to repair that mistake. And so whether that's after the fact or in the midst of it, like right in the moment, we can say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I don't like how that conversation went. You know, we can always apologize, be accountable, and try to repair any hurt that we've caused. Communication is tough, but it's so important. And it really is. Conflict resolution and communication are skills that we need to learn and develop and practice. It's something that I enjoy working with my individual clients on. I also do communication coaching or conflict consulting. So if you're someone that maybe just needs to have like a one-time hard conversation with like an employee or some person in your life, I would be happy to support you. So please reach out if you think I could be helpful in preparing you to have these tough conversations. And I hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm Corey Hildebrandt with CorianderLivingCollective.com. Thanks for listening.